instrument of God, servant of love. In the every moment unfolding within the belief of time, the true calling of love calls you to give yourself the blessing of becoming the servant of God, to bring blessings to humanity with the deep cherishing of the truth of love within your heart. This is the sacred journey that every beloved who hears the call to love every beloved who hears the call to love is called to offer love. The learning within time is to learn the truth of love, to surrender all of the erroneous misconceptions and misperceptions that have been held of what love is, and to finally come to the realization that love is God. Love is peace. Love is harmony. Love is joy. Love is the truth of all existence. And to offer this love is to become purified by this love. To love without conditions. To love without exceptions. To love with kindness in the totality of charity, in the totality of innocence. To open the heart and pour love with the intention of blessing everyone and everything. To walk in this world as the vessel of all masters, of all saints, of all angels, of all light. This is the holy purpose of returning to God. In the everyday life, the opportunity to offer love reveals itself in every moment. And the willingness to remember that you are innocent. And the acceptance that the past will no longer be held as an identity to preserve separation, but finding the willingness of the heart to open the doors, to let the light shine in, to accept the light, and to live as the light. In every moment of every day, the exquisite opportunity to choose to let go of all that you thought you knew, all that you thought you protected and defended, and all that you believed about defense. Everything that was built in the name of separation now surrendered, gladly surrendered into the hands of God, and the willingness to accept transformation, to invite the miracles of love to transform all identity and return to the open flame of love that is the universe. Moment to moment, surrendering the future into the hands of God. And that the future is the next moment. Surrendering all thoughts of expectations, of plans, of knowing, of strategies. And sinking into this divine moment where all love exists, confident, serene, and rested that the future is in the hands of God and will unfold in its perfect harmony. Learning to trust the truth of God. Learning the truth of humanity. Learning to accept the divine alchemy of love's healing. Learning that here in the schoolroom of love, you come empty of knowing and the willingness to learn the mysteries of love. The happy learner awakens to the light. The happy learner gratefully accepts the correction of love. And the happy learner gratefully rests in love. In this moment, the willingness to breathe and the recognition that in every moment as it unfolds, the willingness to breathe consciously is the invitation for their memory of God, to breathe deeply and fully, bringing loving energy to all the energy bodies, joining in the holy union of love. Breathing and accepting the willingness to walk in the way of love, to be led in the way of love as you breathe and rest, resting the mind and allowing the resting into the hands of God. Opening the heart in holy communion as you breathe, inviting in the vibration of love that will spark the memory of the heart to merge and come back to the awareness that there is only one. And as you breathe deeply and fully, the willingness to open the heart and bring the heart forward, affirming an undefended heart, a radiant heart, a heart that has no enemies, a heart that sees no problems, a heart that expands into the pulsation of the universe and returns home into the oneness. Breathing and affirming, surrendering the identification with the body into the hands of God, letting it be used as a vehicle of love, to demonstrate love, to express love, and to bless and comfort, but gladly willing for the body to fall away in perfect harmony, because the Spirit has been recognized as the truth of love. And as the body is given back to God, the identity that has been held is relinquished completely. The identity that has been made in the false perception of separation. The identity that has been made to prove separation, now surrendered. Accepting only love is real, and affirming that in the infinite circle of love we are one, and that this divine circle of love, this holy union of love, is all that exists. The willingness to join and melt in this holy union of love, and affirming that this universe is all love. The sanctuary is filled with love. Love is all that exists. There is only one presence here. It is the life force of God. And within this life force, we live and move and breathe as one. opening and inviting the return of the life force of God, letting it be unleashed, letting the spirit of love be recognized. The heart says yes, and so it is. In the everyday life, allowing prayer to fill your heart and lead you through your day, allowing the song of love to pour from your heart, the praise of God, singing all day. And in this moment, the willingness to melt into the prayer and let the prayer manifest itself in your being. All I am, all I am, all I am is given to me. My mother gives to me, my father gives to me. All I am set free. I can forgive, I am forgiven. My mother gives to me, my father gives to me. Here to receive, here to be forgiven. I will receive, I am forgiven. All I am, all I am, all I am is given to me. Here to receive, all I am, here to be given, all I am. All that is true, all that is real, is creation, the creation of God. To accept that you are that creation, perfect, holy, and complete, is to forgive all illusions of the past, is to forgive all false identities that have been held, all mistaken identities that have been used to battle, and now forgiven and let go. The dawn has arrived resplendently. The dawn has arrived of this new day. My father is here. That is where he is. My mother is here. Here in the truth of love. The dawn has arrived, illuminating resplendently the new day. My mother is here with open arms and with her roses of crystal purity, blessing and offering love. And the heart became resplendent and bloomed with all this love. My mother is here, yes she is. My father is here in great jubilation. Resplendently illuminating, it is dawn and the sun has risen. In the resplendence of the divine light, Our beloved Mother brings us the truth of eternal life. The sun has risen, illuminating. Let's all receive the truth of salvation, the truth of eternal life, the beauty of love that has now entered into the heart for remembering, for awakening, for blessings. Amanhecer, esplandecer, amanhecer, oh novo dia. Meu Pai é lá, ela que ela está, minha mãe está, é o seu altar. Amanhecer, iluminou, resplandeceu o novo dia. Minha mãe está lá, de braços abertos, e suas rosas por esse de cristal. Minha mãe está lá sim, lá está meu Pai, em grande júbilo, resplandeceu, iluminou elo, o sol nascer, o sol nascer. Every moment is a new moment of love. Every moment is the moment to begin again, to go deeper, to accept more deeply, to step forward, to affirm the truth of love, and to recognize the illumination and the splendor of the truth of all love. This is the calling of love, to open the heart and remember the truth of this love. Your fidelity to love. Your fidelity to love, that is all you need. No day will then match your strength. What was once a fear or a problem will see you coming and step aside or run. The fidelity to love. Spiritual journey becomes very simple and is held simply. All of the perceptions of complexities and confusion are a state that really does not exist. Confusion and complexities completely belong to the ego, the belief of battle, the belief of problems. Love is always calling you to this divine fidelity, the willingness to accept what you truly want and return to that promise that you do choose your loyalty, the loyalty of love, the loyalty of light. In the belief of separation, there will be guilt as long as you cherish the possibility that you can make and have expectations to make a beloved into what he is not. All guilt comes from this effort of believing that you can make a beloved into something that they are not. An identity, a role, a persona, an expectation. And all guilt comes from here. Because the guilt is that you have to believe that you are not whole and complete, and that you have truly separated from God, and that what you see you think is accurate. All guilt comes from this, from the self-loathing that is the cause of all pain, all disturbance, but which is in direct defiance to the truth of God. To accept the Word of God, that only love is real, is to bow to the truth and to no longer be willing to accept the concepts of what you think you know. I'm called to a prayer, a psalm. How long will this pain go on, Lord? This grief I can hardly bear. How long will anguish grip me and agony wring my mind? Light up my eyes with your presence. Let me feel your love in my bones. Keep me from losing myself in ignorance and despair. Teach me to be patient, Lord. Teach me to be endlessly patient in this journey of love. Let me trust that your love unfolds me with my heart when my heart feels desolate and dry. I will sing to the Lord at all times, even from the depths of the belief of pain. In this prayer that speaks of pain and anguish, this is the pain and the anguish that are generated from the belief of separation. Everyone has believed that the pain and the anguish are coming from outside, because the pain and the anguish is so unbearable that it has to be projected onto something outside, something else. And so the story goes, and so the play develops. When the pain and the anguish is from the belief that you are imprisoned in a separate self, that you are without the truth of God. And yet, in this belief of pain and anguish, what has to be truly accepted is that it is a lie. That there is no basis for this lie except the belief in a delusional identity. The calling of the heart that remembers and is willing to remember that everything that is temporary, everything that is not permanent is a delusional state. The spirit of love, the infinite spirit of love, is beyond the concepts that the little mind could make up. And as God calls, God is calling you to wake up and accept and questions the validity of your mind, questions the validity of what you are agreeing with, and says to you, why would you not be overjoyed to accept and to realize that everything you thought you knew of pain and suffering was not true? And why would you not be overjoyed to accept that light and joy and peace abide in you? The acceptance, not the proof. The first step is the acceptance. The first step that transforms is acceptance. Sounds simple. What's so tough about acceptance? Accept that you're holding in one hand your determination to be right. You're holding in your one hand the determination that you know, that your experiences of the past are valid, that your assessments of the world are right. This tenacity is the source of pain. This tenacity is the relationship of an addict to a drug. Believing in the distortion that if you surrender what you think you know in the past, what will happen to you? What will become of you? And there is the leap of faith. The leap of faith that every prayer, every hymn of love, every teaching, every element of illumination is inviting you to let go. Truly. How long will this pain go on, Lord? This grief I can hardly bear. How long will anguish grip me and agony wring my mind? Light up my eyes with your presence. Let me feel your love in my bones. Keep me from losing myself in ignorance and despair. Teach me to be patient, Lord. Teach me to be endlessly patient and to trust. Let me trust that your love enfolds me when my heart feels desolate and dry. I will sing to you, Lord, at all times, even from the depths of this belief of pain. I will sing. It's very easy in the ego identity to stay engaged in knowing. When you accept and believe that your everyday life is run by your planning and your expectations and your decisions. It's very easy to stay in that illusion, except for the pain and the anguish. The pain and the anguish arise because your divine spirit can't tolerate it anymore to live a false life, to live a life that has no meaning, to put all your energy into control and protection and defense and planning and expectations, is to expend all your energy into something that has no meaning. It's not a condemnation, but it is what everyone must awaken to, that realization that this has no reality. And just because you believe it does not make it so. These psalms were brought forth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. The same calling, the same longing, the same recognition of what you truly want has to come into consciousness. How long will this pain go on, Lord? This grief I can hardly bear. There is an honesty in finding that place, and then the acceptance that this grief, this pain, is the pain of separation. And it will not be quenched. It will not be lessened until it is honestly recognized of what it is that you truly want. And that all purpose is directed to the true purpose, returning to the light, returning to love, coming home. Light up my eyes with your presence. Let me feel your love in my bones. Unleash that longing. Unleash it so that it's free to open the doors, no longer wanting to keep the beloved out, no longer wanting to have a separate life, no longer wanting a separate world, a separate identity. But truly touching into that deep, deep longing that is within all of humanity and answering it with devotion, answering it with the willingness to be led, the willingness to be shown and corrected in every moment, to drop to your knees in surrender, to the beloveds who want to walk the line and straddle the illusion and the truth. At some point, you will recognize you can no longer straddle. You can no longer serve two masters. And that is a happy day. That is a day of joy. When you're no longer giving allegiance to a false god, to the false god of the body identity, the mind, the past, the belief in limitation, the belief in time, the belief in an identity that somehow will do something, prove something, get something. And the deep willingness to dive deeply into the recognition that everything is already within you. To accept the promises of love for real is to accept moment to moment that only love exists and that nothing else is worth your allegiance. The willingness to invoke what you truly want, to speak, teach me, keep me from losing myself in ignorance and despair. When you want that, love answers. Love answers because you want help. You want to not fall into the old pit of ignorance and despair. It isn't God's will for you to live in ignorance and despair. That is the hell that you've made. That is the hell that you can turn away from and turn to God. Turn to the light. Turn to love. And the first place of turning to love is the willingness to recognize the divine beauty of every beloved. The reflection of God is in your everyday life. To go beyond the concepts of behavior, to go beyond the perceptions of the mind that are twisted in a belief of battle and self-punishment. To relinquish what you think you see. Imagine that what you have longed for in all these lifetimes is to be seen, to have the light within you seen. That the light within you would be seen and recognized, not to get something, but to drop into the recognition that you are home. And when you are willing to see this light in all of humanity, you see your own light. That is how you see your light. It's the most amazing element of healing. That the secret of healing is in the recognition of the light in everything that you have projected out. To no longer see the self-loathing that you've projected, but that you're willing to look through that lie and see the light, to see the beauty, to see the innocence, and to accept it in your heart. To truly accept it in your heart. Let me trust that your love enfolds me. Let me trust. It doesn't say let me know. It says let me trust that your love enfolds me. That is a choice that every beloved has to make. That is the freedom of choice. That is your only freedom in this world of illusion, is your choice. Everything else is about being a puppet. Everything else is about being a slave to an identity, to a concept that has been totally made up. But your freedom is in your choice. Let me trust that your love enfolds me. When my heart feels desolate and dry, I will sing to you, Lord, at all times. I will sing. I will extend my love. I will burst through this restricted defense and resistance. I will refuse this resistance and choose to sing and praise and bless at all times. The journey of love. Being an active participant in the journey of love. There is no rescue in the journey of love, because God did not make the illusion. And to surrender what you've made is to put your makings, your identity on the altar and say, take this. Let it be transformed into love. And I say yes to awakening into the truth of love. I say yes. How long will this pain go on, Lord? How long will this anguish go on? It's not true, but it shows the depth of the power of the distortion of the mind, that it can make pain and suffering seem so real, that it can make a battleground that seems so authentic that you have believed it for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And that in this lifetime you have come to a place of choice. You have come to that place of accepting that you have a choice in every moment. You have exerted great effort to preserve what you made in illusion. It takes great effort to preserve what you have made in illusion. It takes focus, it takes vigilance, it takes a scout, it takes interpretation, it takes assessment. It takes great effort to preserve what you have made in the name of illusion. So the the ego says, I don't want to give the vigilance. Don't give vigilance to the truth. Save the vigilance, the scout, the assessment for the past, for what you think you know. And there is the choice. The willingness to focus attention on what you truly want. And asking the question, in this moment, am I experiencing peace? Am I experiencing harmony and joy? If I'm not, this is not of God. And I've made something up. And I'm going to choose peace right now. And I'm going to pray. And I'm going to say yes, that I want only the truth. I am worth that. I am worth that because this is what I came here for. To acknowledge the choice and the loving kindness of choosing peace, of refusing to accept the delusions of suspicion and caution and wrongdoing in the world. To surrender the belief in being right. The willingness to drop the swords and put your faith and trust in the power of love. And to accept that you cannot be harmed except by your own mind and your own knowing. And even then, you aren't doing anything that's real. You're just in suffering for nothing. What I see witnesses to what I believe and think. If you can accept this, what I see witnesses to what I believe and think, period. Nothing else. To stand in the truth. What I see witnesses to what I believe and think. To accept this is to break the trance in any moment and invite the miracle of love to transform your own mind. What I see witnesses to what I believe and think, period. It is not of God. It is not the truth, unless you are seeing the light of God, the beauty of God, the innocence of God. Other than that, what you see is just a witness to what your beliefs are. And in that, you have just found, hallelujah, you have just found the problem and the source of your pain. Because that outside belief is the cause of your pain. What you witness, what you see, and the witness to it is that it is your belief that is the cause of your pain. There is no other cause. Once you have recognized and accepted that the only cause of pain is coming from your own mind, healing is so rapid because there is no longer a battle with I'm right and I insist on being right and I insist on having an enemy that is outside. For what purpose? For the purpose of self-preservation, for the belief that there is something here, an identity to protect, that you are afraid to expose to the light. The masks have to come off. When Hafiz, in his love, expressed that God was ripping open his chest to make more room for God to come into his heart, that wanting is the spark within that is being called to recognize. To be taken. The willingness to give your mind to God. The willingness to give your identity to God. The willingness to remember and come home to God. And what is God? All love, all harmony, all peace, all wisdom, all divine intellect, all perfection, all eternity. Come home. Come home and rest. But it takes trust. Absolutely, it takes trust. In illusion, I hold the past against everyone and everything, believing they are my enemies. This is not done consciously. This is done step by step by step by step, gathering evidence of the past, believing that this evidence of the past was something that happened to you instead of it being a reflection of your belief of separation. To accept that you are not a victim, that you are undamaged, that you are untouched by any illusion of separation. It is completely an acceptance. It's not a knowing until it is accepted. And it's the way home. To accept that you are whole and complete and the light of God. If you are the creation of God, and God is the perfection of all that exists, then it would have to bear that it must mean, if you believe that you are damaged and you accept that as truth, then it must mean that God is damaged as well. And then the universe will just fall apart because everything is what you think it is. And it would not stand the truth of the light. This is how insane the mind is that holds the belief of damage, that holds the belief of the past tightly gripped as an identity. There is no love there. When you hold the past as your weapon, you are not available to offer yourself love. You are not available to accept love. And this is not God's will for you. Because none of this is true. When you awaken to the truth of who you are, you will recognize, as everyone has recognized who has awakened, that, oh, nothing ever happened. It was all made up. It was all a dream. I put so much effort into that dream. I gave it everything to defend and protect and hold the dream together. For what? To be right. To protect, to defend, and because of the fear of the unknown. But every master stands before you, having walked the journey for you, having walked in the light for you, to say, look, still here, in the light, as the light with the light for the light. What are you waiting for? What are you protecting?
But what? No.
Your fidelity to love. That is all you need. Faithfulness, fidelity. The willingness to find that place of devotion, of what you truly want and what you are here for. To rise in happiness that you are mistaken about your past and that you don't know who you are, but that you will hold the promise that you are the light of God. And you will bring all devotion to that divine truth. That you will find your fidelity to love. That is all that you need. And in this fidelity, no day will then match your strength. I am not weak, but strong in the truth of love. I am not helpless, but all-powerful in the truth of love. There is no strength in the belief of separation. There is no power in the belief of separation. There is only weakness in the belief of separation. There is only pain in the belief of separation. Not because you're being punished, but because you are self-punishing by believing that you are something other than what you truly are. What you truly are is the light of God. And your fidelity to love is all that you need to have and find that loyalty to your remembering. That you will not serve false gods, that you will not serve false idols, that you will not give your allegiance to lies that have no meaning and have no purpose, other than to make you miserable. And all of that misery, that addiction to misery, comes from the belief that you need to be punished because you separated from God. But that's a lie. You can't separate from God. You can't be something that you're not. You can't make a separate world. No matter what you think you know, you cannot make reality different than what reality is. You cannot change the truth of who you are. You can pretend. You can live in your own little kingdom of what you think you've made and live in your own concepts, and you can suffer in those because that is the ego's domain, to suffer. And you will believe in suffering, and you will believe in pain, and you will believe that you're right, but you will not be right. You will be mistaken. You did not change the truth of love. Love was patiently waiting for you to find your fidelity to love. What was once a fear or a problem will see you coming and step aside or run, because you will have no need or use for these lies any longer. You will not find them attractive any longer. You will not find them alluring any longer. You will see them for what they are: weakness and lies. Nothing. You have exerted great effort to preserve what you made in illusion. It takes great effort to hold on to lies. Very tiring, very exhausting. And all the while, your heart is longing to return to the truth. Awaken the heart to its longing. Find that fidelity to love. No matter what shows up, no matter what temptation shows up from your mind, refuse to accept its validity. Refuse to accept its worth, because it has none. And bring your loyalty back to where it truly belongs. I am the light of God. I am not weak but strong in the truth of love. I am not helpless but all-powerful in the truth of love. I affirm and confirm what I want. I want to remember. I am here to remember. I am here to be the vehicle of love. I am here because all that I am was given to me. And I accept and claim the light now. I refuse to accept anything else. How long will this pain go on, Lord? This grief I can hardly bear. How long will anguish grip me and agony wring my heart and my mind? Light up my eyes with your presence. Now, now, now. Let me feel your love in my bones. Keep me from losing myself in ignorance and despair that the ego so loves. To put in front of my eyes and distract me from the truth of love. Teach me to be patient, Lord. Teach me to be endlessly patient, because patience is trust. Patience is the manifestation of trust, of trusting that everything is here for my healing. Everything is here because I am here and everything is perfect for what I need to see in this moment. The teachings are all here for me. Let me use them for their true purpose, to heal and to remember love. Let me trust that your love enfolds me when my heart feels desolate and dry. I will sing to the Lord at all times, even from the depths of the belief of pain. I call to the light. I call to the truth. I call to the illumination of my mind. I call to the illumination of my heart. It's all that I want. I refuse to see anything else any longer. I have that choice. inflame my heart, because it's all I want. Unnameable God, I feel you with me at every moment. You are my food, my drink, my sunlight, and the air that I breathe. You are the ground I have built on and the beauty that rejoices my heart. I give thanks to you at all times for lifting me from my confusion, from teaching me in the dark and showing me the path of life. I have come to the center of the universe and I rest in your perfect love. In your presence there is fullness of joy and blessedness forever and forever. Let your heart sing with your prayers of love. Let your heart sing all day long, praising, affirming that you are the light of God and that God is everything to you. And that is the only place that you truly want to be, is in love. And embracing every creation of God as the light of God and as a reflection of yourself. The willingness to embrace the universe as your home, as your existence, as your light. The willingness. I feel you with me at every moment. You are my food, my drink, my sunlight, and the air that I breathe. You are the ground that I have built on and the beauty that rejoices my heart. I give thanks to you at all times for lifting me from my confusion, for teaching me in the dark and showing me the path of life. I have come to the center of the universe. I rest in your perfect love. And in your presence there is fullness of joy and blessedness forever and ever. The willingness to let the heart burst open in its exuberance of love, to be exuberant in your wanting to live as the light of the divine. The willingness to recognize that God is your food, your drink, your sunlight, your breath. To commune so deeply with the divine that the separation disappears, that the me and them disappears, and you come home, merging back into the light where you truly exist. And on the floor in a puddle is the dust of what you made. Let go and returned to its nothingness as the spirit of love emerges from its cocoon and recognizes itself. Forever and ever.